Millions of people use DNA tests to learn more about their ethnicity, but one of Spokane's best-known cops is using DNA to investigate her father's sordid past and to search for family members she says she always suspected may be out there.
Derek Dice has the story of Corporal Teresa Fuller and the mystery she's been able to unlock through DNA.
Imagine living your life with a stranger in your own house.
We always knew that there were some things that were not quite right.
Teresa Fuller knew her dad as Robert Malcolm Clark. He told Teresa's mom he was sterile, which raised suspicions when Teresa and her brother were born. He'd also told them all his relatives were dead and that he'd served in the Air Force in the aftermath of the Korean War.
And we were never able to verify any of that stuff.
He died 20 years ago, just before Teresa entered the police academy.
It's actually kind of ironic that I ended up in the career path that I have chosen and look at where his life led him all of those years.
But even with her police training and plenty of public records, Teresa could never unlock the secrets of her dad's past or find out if she had more family out there until recent advances in DNA testing.
Who knew you were going to be able to spit in a tube and send it off in the mail and know what your ethnicity was and find out who other relatives might be?
One of the relatives she discovered was an aunt in Tennessee who told her heritage wasn't what her dad led her to believe.
I was always told by my dad that we were Irish. We're not. We're Scottish.
Then Aunt Sharon dropped this bombshell.
That sounds like my half-brother Rusty. His real name is Samuel Arthur McLean. The last time I saw him, the FBI was at the front door and my dad was rushing him out the back.
And that wasn't all.
Oh, by the way, you have a sister named Shelley in Canada. I'm like, wow.
The next day, Teresa received an email from the half-sister she never knew she had, and they quickly forged a bond.
She's like, oh my gosh. She goes, you got to see the pictures of my oldest daughter because you guys look so much alike.
Samuel Arthur McLean left when Shelley was just 6 months old. A private investigator found out he'd been married once before Shelley's mom and 2 or maybe 3 more times before Teresa's mom.
There's 20 years between Shelley's mom and my mom. So Lord knows what happened in those 20 years.
Then Shelley told Teresa something that still gives her chills. She said a psychic once told her he saw 2 kids riding horseback in New Mexico.
And I said, Shelley, your brother and I grew up riding horses all of our life. My 2 kids ride horses and have since they were walking. And our dad died in that area of the United States.
A few weeks ago, Teresa traveled to Alberta to meet her sister and other new family members in person.
It was fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. It had been my birthday that week, and so I showed up and there were birthday presents waiting for me and a dozen roses. And
she got to share things about the dad they shared, but Shelley never knew.
He had good parts to him, despite the obvious bad parts of him. You know, he was a loving man when he had his moments.
They didn't get far in trying to find out more information about their dad because they don't have proof of death in his real name.
Now taking at it, look at that stuff with the police officer lens, I was like, really, Dad?
The sisters are still hoping to find even more family members.
We're fairly certain there's probably more siblings out there, and we'd like to connect with them if at all possible.
But even if they don't, Teresa and Shelley now have each other, and some family questions now answered through DNA testing.
I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Even if we don't find anything else out, the fact that I have this additional sister and additional family to love is the best that there could have been.
And again, that was our Derek Dice reporting. Now, Teresa Fuller tells Derek that her sister is now planning to visit Spokane so Shelley can meet her newly discovered family members right here in America.